I appreciate you being here. This is beautiful. So this is my first time meeting Colin, but I've heard so much about him.
Good things or bad things?
Oh, come on now. Can never be nothing bad. Could never be nothing
Just
bad.
checking, right? Just
You're
checking.
awesome.
Thank you.
I found out in, my queen, Miss Giselle, who organizes my world here, all around actually. She's a good organizer. And she says, I have this person that you have to meet. And if everybody, you all know Giselle, you know the spirit and energy that comes with Giselle.
She's beautiful.
So all you hear is, I got this person I want you to meet. And yes, you're going to interview. And no question to ask. None. When Giselle says, we do. Because that's just what we do.
Yeah.
So the title of this book is exciting.
Okay.
A funny thing happened on the way to your career.
Yes, it was funny now, but it was horrible when I was going through it. So my story really quick is I'm a career blacksmith now, but before I was in import-exports. And I took parental leave to raise my daughter, and I came back, and American firm bought us out, and then before I know it, I come back, and things are changing. I'm thinking I'm still good. I've been here for 15 years, and life's good. And then my job gets kind of changed over, and it's like warning signs on the wall. But I'm thinking, I've been here 15 years, life's still good, and I buy a bigger house. If you have children, you understand that the house gets really small when you have children. So I had my in-laws living with me.
Wow.
And I had my in-laws live with me, as well as I had my growing family. So I buy a bigger place. And what happened to me was this. 12 hours after buying the house, I lose my job.
Wow.
And I'm unemployed. And then I have to carry 2 mortgages because we don't get the original house sold. And I'm struggling. All my money is going like that. And then before I know it, I'm pretty much flat broke and struggling for about 2.5 years.
Wow.
So this is my pain of what I figured out, what I was doing wrong, and I fixed it and applied the principles of grow, overcome, and achieve. Succeeded, found employment, and that's when I wrote the book, A Funny Thing Happened, The Way to My Career. Because I can laugh at it now.
You can laugh. So, life is about journeys.
Yep.
And I'm that person who we walk through the journey. I saying hi to all my Facebook Live families. I can't respond to you because we're on air. Okay? So I will talk back to you guys after we are done. So I always love to quote my heroes and my sheroes. So one of my hero, my first, I say first and most famous, and I love him dearly, is Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey says, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you're coming from.
True.
So before you tell us all about this book, I need you to take me on the journey. Where you from?
Okay. I'm from a small island in Canada called Montreal. And I haven't lived there too long because of the FLQ situation back in the 60s. And we left. And what happened was we moved to Scarborough, Ontario, and we lived there. And then my true story of finding out who I was took place in 1978. If you had been there beside me, you've seen my mother coming home crying from parent-teachers meeting. And she's crying when a young
What's
boy...
the family background? Where y'all from?
Okay,
originally?
So we're originally from Barbados. And then when I take it back to the 14th century, there is... very much these English guys, Scottish guys, who wanted the King of Scotland to be the king of the whole Britain. And they kicked them out, made them into slaves. So I had white slaves working in Barbados, Jamaica, and I think New Zealand, some other places, Australia. And then that's how I got the name of McClean, because they were slaves, and eventually they bought land, they got the freedom, they married black women, and then I'm the lineage of the black of McClean. So McClean is my real
talk
name.
about history. That's some serious history.
Yeah, and I did some research, and I found I was living my history because their battle cry, or the code of honor, was virtue, mine honor. And I've always believed that as a child. I didn't know that.
And you didn't even know that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So virtue, mine
Wow.
honor.
So, landed you in Scarborough
Yeah.
in 78? Were there black people in Scarborough at that time?
Yeah, there was a few.
Yeah,
There was
black people.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
few, all right. We were mostly in our downtown
Sprinkled.
area, sprinkled, sparkling all over the place. But you're in Scarborough. What school did you go to?
I went to Cedarbrook, and that's when I had the challenges. I found out I had a learning disability.
That's Cedarbrook Public School.
Public school,
Okay.
yeah, a great school and everything. And then I struggled, and I remember trying to succeed, didn't know how to do it. And then I started applying myself more, studying more, and my marks went from F's to pretty much D's, and then eventually to A's, and I graduated. And I went to Centennial College to get international business because the Berlin Wall was coming down.
Definitely
so
came
I
down.
figured business is good. That's what I did.
Where'd you go to high school?
Cedarbray.
Oh, you went to Cedar Bray. So you went to Cedar Brook Public School?
Yeah.
And then Cedar Bray High School.
And then I went to John McCrae.
All right.
And then I went to Cedarbray.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So you traveled Scarborough in the school system.
And ironically, I was just there with Giselle in the area, and I'm having flashbacks thinking, I forgot about this place because I move out to Brampton now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just kind of strange how things are still the same, but seem to change.
Yes, there's that old saying. They say the more things change is the more that they remain the same.
True.
And we've heard these, our cliche statements all over. But until you've actually lived it,
yes,
you will not have a clue.
You can't relate.
No, you can't. You can't. You cannot relate. I saw something today from, I think it's Mark Twain, that said, in order to write about your life, you have to have lived it.
Yes.
So people like to talk about experience and lived experience and all these things. But until you've really walked that walk in those experiences, you won't know it. And you can't really relate.
Exactly. So I'm a man of action. So I won't tell you to do something unless I've done it. Okay. So I went through when I lost my job, totally depressed, and I felt like everyone was successful but myself. So I have friends, they're getting promotions after promotions, and I'm not getting anything. And I'm like a so-called artist, struggling artist, and trying to get my way. And I have my parents calling me every minute saying, finding work yet, son, finding work yet, what's going on?
Caribbean parents, Caribbean parents are beautiful, but they can be tough.
Yeah, they were tough.
They can be really tough. And I think that toughness comes from the story that they were told about coming to Canada.
Yeah.
Canada is known to be the land of opportunity. So when they take us, their children, and they bring them here, they have these really, really, and I'm not disputing it, extremely high expectations.
Yeah, my dad was an ex-school teacher.
Oh my goodness.
So,
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, exactly.
An ex-school teacher. So they have this very, even though a lot of our parents did not make it past, because I know my mom, awesome woman, never made it past grade 6. Back in those days, they said they called it sixth form.
That's my mom.
Never
Same
made
thing.
it past, but mommy was articulate. Mommy could read like crazy. Mommy, I don't know how she bought houses on her salary. She did these things, so they had these expectations. And my father, same, you know what I mean? My father ended up working at Chrysler.
Yeah.
And he was one of those very few of them that look like them.
Yeah, my dad worked for
None
CP.
of them. I was like, I didn't know. And that moment of owning your story, because I was so afraid.
Because your story defines who you are.
I was so afraid.
Be the narrator, not the character in your story.
I didn't narrate the story very well.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody to know what was going on. So I was like, I'm out of here. Every time I'm out of here. And then eventually I was just like, no, this can't happen. And I remember even high school. I didn't graduate from high school. I graduated in my 30s. I went to SCAS. Beautiful. Big up all the SCAS people out there. Scarborough Center for Adult Learning. Beautiful. And that's where I fell in love with learning.
Yeah.
I fell in love with learning till I became relentless. People didn't like me up there because I was like, why are you standing up in the hallway? We did this when we were in high school. Get out of the hallway. Get into class. I was that girl.
Yeah.
I was never friends with a principal or anybody in authority except when I sat outside outside the office getting myself in trouble for something.
No, I couldn't remember my father, ex-school teacher, so I could not do that. No. But yeah, I hear you.
So that was my world.
Yeah.
And then you had that father, so I had that disciplinarian father. But learning is that journey that we take. And if we don't own that learning, we get lost.
Yeah, a lot of my clients, I used to be a non-for-profit, and I found that a lot of people were struggling And it wasn't them not able to find a job, but their mental state. They weren't growing themselves as people. And they had like a self-limiting belief, some story that they weren't good enough. And when you think you're not good enough, you go for an interview, the job's yours, but then you fail because you keep thinking, I'm not good enough, so therefore I'm going to act out the character of not being good enough. So when I started teaching people, by doing my work of your habits, your belief systems, your values, and finding your true powerful I am, that's when the magic happened.
So I'm going to push back at you and ask you, at what age? You know what I mean? Because you're sitting here. He looks very good, people. He has a melanated skin.
Yeah.
So they say black don't crack. So he's got this beautiful, young looking, but he's 50.
Yes.
He's 50. He's 50?
50.
You're
50.
full. He's a big 50. So
Hardback man.
You're officially
Yeah.
half a century old. Whoa,
Wow,
that
you
sounds good.
That sounds good and scary at the same time.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah,
half a century
good,
old. Yeah. I'm a half a century and then some.
Yeah.
And I
few
learned.
months.
Yeah, a few months. You know what I mean? So it's that moment. But where and how? When did the light bulb? Because when did the light bulb go off?
Okay,
Because the light bulb, you were going through this, you went to this, you went through that, and then the light bulb.
Okay, so the light bulb came on when I was working out at the gym. So my girlfriend just dumped me, and I'm feeling like horrible because I'm too much of a nice guy. This is the fifth woman who told me this. Go date me for a while. I'm thinking life is good. I haven't changed. And she says all of a sudden, I don't like you anymore. You're just too nice, and that's it.
Oh my.
Heartbroken, so I'm working at the gym, and then I meet Ramon. Ramon's the coolest guy. He's like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp had a black and Hispanic parent. Coolest guy on the block. Everyone loves him. And I tell him, my girlfriend broke up with me. And he goes, okay, so put on more weight and work out. So I'm doing the bench pressing, and he puts on like 200 pounds. He goes, you got this, bro. And then I'm thinking, I'm only at 150. I can't just go, you got this. Push out your pain. So if I had been looking at his eyes properly, when I asked him, do you have me? He goes, yeah, I got you, bro. His eyes were looking at the women doing the aerobics, bending over, ooh la la. So I lift off the weight, and then all of a sudden, what happens, this image of my ex-girlfriend, who just dumped me a few hours earlier, appears before me, and I get relaxed. And what happens when you're relaxed, you have a 200-pound weight.
Oh my goodness.
It goes right for my throat. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to bite the bullet. And it's coming down to my throat to lop my head off. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. And I'm feeling myself falling into a grave. In those horror movies, I actually see it. My life flashed before me. I don't see anything. I wasted my time. I just studied. This is it. I'm biting the bullet. And I see my mother look in the grave. I see my father look in the grave. They're crying. I see my sister. And I see one last person. Guess who that person is? Ramon, looking in. And then the weight shifted from my throat down to my chest, bounced back in his arms. He goes, wow, you're like a rubber band. And I wanted to wring his neck because then you almost killed me. But then that was a message, because I remember saying in that moment I was going to die that, God, I will not waste my time. Give me one chance to live my life. I will make a difference and impact. And then it shifted like that. And then ever since, I started doing the skydiving, flying the plane.
Yes, this man
skydived.
skydived.
So, yeah.
And you, what else?
Did the edge walk on the CN Tower for my 50th.
You went on the edge?
Edge walk, the CN Tower, outside CN Tower.
Yeah, I know. I went up there, and I'm telling you, those guys laugh at me because coming down, I couldn't look down. I sat down. I sat down.
Yeah? Oh,
and I was looking, and I know I sat
beautiful.
down. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm not good with heights.
Okay.
I'm working my way there.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm working my way.
Grow, overcome, and achieve.
I like that. That thing's going to
Beautiful.
stick with me, Grow, overcome, and achieve.
That's my principles of success.
That's it. Oh, my goodness. So you've done all these things in this journey. You have a family.
Yeah.
You're growing. And then you decided at some point in time that you want to write a book.
Yes, so that was me seeing people who was a non-for-profit and they were struggling and they were depressed. I remember that reek of failure I had in posture, where I remember going to places, and what's the second question people ask you next to your name? What do you do for a living? And you can't answer it, right? And you're feeling horrible. I remember feeling I'm like a deadbeat father. I wasn't.
Oh, my God.
But then I remember feeling that way. And then you go to parties and everyone's saying, I got a promotion. I just sold my third house. This is great. And what are you doing, Colin? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm still doing drawing. oh, I keep at it. It's gonna break one day.
I can't believe I'm sitting with
So-
you right now. I can't believe.
So I didn't want people going through the pain that I went through because it was really dark. And then I had to go, I saw one of my mentors, and he was like rocking it. He's like living life. And I go, what's your secret? So we went to this self-development course where they lock you in a room like pretty much for 3 days straight. And they're drilling down, finding out what's wrong with you. There's like no coffee, no nothing. You're just like...
Where is this?
This is in Toronto. But I did it because I knew that I had a choice. Either I could sink or I could come up from the ash. It broke me, and I found out, you know what it was?
It broke me.
My
I
third
cried
grade
in
teacher.
front of 250 people.
Yeah, my third grade teacher was the reason why I thought that I wasn't going to be successful. Like that teacher that told me, my mom, that he's not good enough and stuff, I was carrying that for all those years. And then when I understood that, it broke. And then I wrote the book, and other things started happening. So it's just that story we have of who we think we are.
Yes.
But there's a different person.
Believe me. So part of this message is be mindful who you share your story with.
True.
Be mindful who you talk, what you're doing with on your journey.
Yeah.
Because trust me, when they throw things at you and you're not ready, you'll break down.
Yeah, my wife didn't recognize me when I came back the first night. She says, "Who are you?" I go, "Yeah, very funny." She says, "No, who are you? You're not the same person that left here." And I'm thinking, come on. She says, "No, they did something to you." So she thought they captured me and put me in my body somewhere, put her a duplicate clone replacement.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember the guy said, "You spent all this money on this." I flown in from, he said he flew in from, I think, Australia. I'm still being paid.
I think we got the same
guy,
We
right?
had the same guy.
And it was true, right? He goes, "Put your hand up if it's not working."
Yeah, we got the same guy, the Australian. Oh, we got.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
was
goodness!
beautiful. I loved him.
Oh my goodness!
So then,
when did you do yours?
oh, years ago, I just remember that he said, "Put your hand up."
3 years? Was
No,
it 3?
long ago.
Longer than?
Yeah,
okay.
longer than that. But I just
think
remember
we had the
going
same
up
year.
there,
We had
and
the same
then
guy.
I met my best friend there because he went up and was a black guy. He said, "I want to volunteer." So this black guy goes, "I'll go too," right? And then he takes a strip off the guy. He's like yelling at him,
He
"Rip
ripped
him!"
me. He
And I'm
ripped
thinking,
me.
holy cow, what do I do? I mean, I
Yes.
wanted to run. My
Yes.
instinct was to flee, right?
Yes.
But you're looking at the back of the room, and the door's locked, and there's how many rows of people? Like 10, 15 rows of people, 10 at each side. You can't get out.
Yes.
So I faced my demons, and that was my journey of growing, overcoming, achieving by facing my demons, you know. And then found it was just a story I was living. It was a lie.
That story.
Yeah.
That story that we tell ourselves. It's a carry. Yes. Yeah. That story that we tell ourselves. It's a creepy story.
Mm.
It's a really creepy story because it keeps us in a place where, my goodness, we can't live there.
Yeah, you're a
We
person.
cannot live there.
Mm-hmm.
I stood there. I was this gangster. I was behaving like y'all should have seen me. I was this gangster. I was like, ain't nothing happening here. And when he hit me with what he hit me with, I was just like, what'd you say?
Fighting words.
What'd you say? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to answer? Yeah. And I was just like, but you don't know me.
Doesn't care.
I went into everything that he could. And they had the boxes of Kleenex. I don't know if they had that with yours.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah, they had the boxes of Kleenex around the room. Gosh, for that. Boxes of Kleenex around the room. And I'm like, gosh, for that. I grabbed my box of Kleenex and I went in. And coming home on the train, I went in. Sitting down in my living room, I went in. I'm like, what the heck? That happened to me. I never felt like that a day in my life.
You took the red pill in Matrix versus the blue pill.
Yeah. And my life has not been the same since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah. I still have a few of my forums to finish.
Okay.
I got a couple more I got to go do. But I'm going to make that. I have made that decision to go back and talking about our journeys. But this was so totally awesome.
I know it was.
Yeah, because it's funny. That's weird. this connection.
No, it's not weird.
Oh
It's just
my
life.
goodness.
It's meant to be
Yes.
the universe.
Yes,
Yeah.
because when I did it, I couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, people can't relate to you.
No,
Yeah.
no. And I remember going, do you know the gentleman named Mr. Noel Waldron?
No.
Okay, that's the person you should meet. And I've
Okay.
been to a couple sessions, information sessions,
Yeah.
but never really decided that I was going to do it. And then how it ended up that I ended up doing it was, I met a lady, and she sold me insurance. And while we were there, I don't know how the conversation came up, but it came
It's
out.
meant to be.
And a beautiful lady by the name of Paulette Senior had already given me, she gave me her credit card and said, I need you to go to this. She didn't tell me anything. She said, I need you to go.
Just want to pay it. I didn't have anything. I had to scrape the money because I was like, do and die, sink or swim. Either you make it through this or it's quits, because I was back up against the wall and I had no other option but to do this one last. It was like a Hail Mary pass for
Wow.
myself.
Wow.
And that's what I
That's
did.
how you end up. Yes.
Didn't have the money, but I had to find the money.
She gave me the
Yeah.
card and told me, and yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's it was an interesting experience because that really birthed who I was as a person going through that. But I just remember just thinking, you know what, I'm a complete failure, and either I do something or I become the victim. So a victim and a victor are the same person. So
Yes.
you choose to look at the outcome.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I find that coming from certain places and spaces, people don't understand that.
We don't share in our community.
No.
Like I'm going through pain. You don't share.
Why
Mom, I'm
is it
depressed,
why do people find it so hard to share? You will see them out and they'll be so happy, and then when stuff is happening, they don't want to share. And
Yeah.
then they want to make you believe. So when you see them now, you don't even want to go and approach them because they make it look like everything is so good.
Yeah.
And then when you really dig deep and find out the story, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get in trouble a lot because people are like, you're too raw, you're too real. I remember a person sent a message to me, please don't put that on Facebook. I'm like, oh, why not? It's my platform. Oh no, you're not to put those things on Facebook. People don't need to know. I said, well, I'm not really telling them.
Yeah.
I'm clearing it for me. I'm getting comfortable with me. I'm telling the story. Even when I started using the word ghetto, you can't find no other word to use.
Yeah.
A lot of people kept telling me that.
So it's getting higher education
To teach
to
others.
teach others.
Yes.
And we need that. This community, we're not teaching enough of each other.
Yes.
Like there's gaps between the older generation and the younger generation.
Yes.
Like how they cook, how they do stuff. They know stuff, but they're not writing it down.
Yes.
Or missing information.
Yes.
And then if there's a void, and you're supposed to somehow magically remember how to get
How
over
to-
it.
Yes.
We can't.
Yes.
I believe in legacy.
Yes. So we're back on.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk. We're gonna dig down deep into this book.
Beautiful. And this book's for you.
This book.
Yes.
So I'm fortunate, folks, as you can see, I got an autographed copy of this book. So I'm here talking with Colin, realizing how similar
Yeah, really.
how
twins.
similar our stories are. So this is totally exciting because we have such similar stories. My growth and my journey has been about sharing powerful stories with people. Because I think stories help us to heal.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting somewhere and somebody you've heard, like listening to you, all these things that you've gone through, somebody out there that's listening will say, you know what? I've been wanting to do this.
Yeah.
Colin, how did you do it? How did you do it? And listening, they say, oh, can we, and so if you don't want to talk on air, I'll send out the links. You can check on my page and you can have that private conversation with him because sometimes some things have to be private.
Yeah, you know what? Reach out to me at Colin at KeepMovingForward.ca, and it's 1 L in Colin.
Okay, so you heard that. And you all know where to find me because you know me. My Giselle says, I'm real till I'm at fault. So right now, we're going to talk about a funny thing happened on the way to my career. What is that funny thing that happened?
The funny thing is me looking back and seeing all the mistakes I was making. So, for example, I talk in the book, this 3 sections, pre-interview, during the interview, and after the interview, what to do. So what I was doing was I am sending my resumes blindly. You know, like I'm thinking, I sent out 10 resumes today. Hoo-hoo, that's great. Any kind of a job. I have no idea what I'm sending to because I got to be a father and support and make wife happy that I'm doing some kind of job. And then I get a call one day, no one's calling, and then one day they say, Mr. McClean, we want you to come in for an interview. I'm thinking, who are you? I have no idea who you are. And they tell me the name, it's still not ring a bell. I'm looking at my emails, don't know who this person is. So they say, show up this place. So I show up, and I'm walking into the place, and I'm like feeling so low and defeated. I'm thinking, I gotta get this job because my investments are all gone. I can scrape 2 nickels together. I'm flat broke, and I gotta get this job. So I go in, and I see this Mercedes-Benz, newest model. It's a beautiful black car, and I go, this must be the owner. So I go in, you never see The Wolf of Wall Street? The Leonardo DiCaprio character?
Yes.
Well, the one I met was a guy like that, a little bit heavier, slick black hair, pinky ring and everything, and he's got like a diamond ring kind of a thing. He's like reeks of money. He looks like he would sell his own grandmother. So I walk in there, and I go, hi, I'm here for the job, and he goes, okay, sit down. So I sit down, and he starts asking me, tell me about yourself. I'm going stuttering, ahs and stuff, and he's like, look at me, you're a complete idiot. You're wasting my time. And then he goes, why should I hire you? And I can't answer the question. I go, I don't know. I said, because I'm a good person, I'm thinking, right? And then it's pretty much, don't call me, I'll call you. So I have to go back home, and I'm like thinking to my wife, I didn't get the job. Like, what am I going to do? So then another opportunity comes, and I start networking a bit more. And then my wife's friend, who we don't really talk to too much, the ones that, you meet at Christmas parties and you don't see them for another year or picking up whatever, she says, there's a job opportunity for a trainer. And it's for a school board. You may want to check it out for your husband. So I go, and my wife says, okay, we're going to sit down. We're going to practice every single friggin' interview question. Make sure you got it right. So my wife is, I love her, but she's horrible in terms of she's real like you. And she will make you cry because she wants me to succeed.
Yes.
And I have 2 choices. I'm a man, I could go my ego, I'm man, and how's that working? It's not working. So surrender to the process. Hear what she's saying, and she did an interview question, says, no, wrong, start again, and I did it, and I mastered it. So I go into interview, and I knew that if there was 500 people sitting there for that job interview, the job was mine. So I go in there, and I do the job interview, and the medals drop, and they run away. I'm thinking, holy crap, did I screw up again? So then I'm leaving, and I'm thinking, this is horrible. I didn't get the job. And they go, no, sign the paper, you got the job.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was supposed to be an instructor for the non-for-profit, teaching people how to come into the system of non-for-profits, of resumes and other stuff. And I blew them out of the water, and I found employment. So I could come home and tell my wife that, hey, I got employment, I finally did it. And that's when I started writing the book, because I knew that I was doing all the wrong things. And they don't teach you this stuff, right?
Yes.
And then you got self-limiting beliefs.
They don't.
And then you're depressed. And how can you function when you're depressed and you have the story that you're a failure? So that's what I've used to help people grow, overcome, and achieve by this book, and also my teachings of Landmark, other self-development stuff I've done. And then I have my website at KeepMovingForward.ca. We have online learning platforms, and I do one-on-one coaching.
Were you one of those person like myself? For the longest time, I lived in the self-help section of the of the library. When it wasn't the library, it was Coles. You see my.
It was more shelf-help books. So I go to these events, and then I buy the book, and I wouldn't read it.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And then it would be on my shelf, sitting there, right? But then I said, you know what? It's not working. Pick up the book, started reading, and then when I started growing myself, I started becoming more interesting. And then that's when things started happening, the magic happening, right? I was resisting before. When I started learning more, then my whole world changed. So change your mindset, change your reality.
Change your, definitely. That's
what
a
I teach.
definite. That's a definite. I started learning, when I started getting really deep into learning and understanding what learning was all about.
It's powerful.
Powerful. My third time into George Brown brought that level, and I said, I think I probably got, in my entire high school years, I think I probably got 1 A.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
and it was Mozart. It was music.
I love Mozart. Yeah.
And I fell in love with
Requiem.
Mozart, and I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to know everything about. So I went and found out everything about Mozart. And when I wrote and gave it, she goes, "You did this?" Yeah, I got an A.
Because the passion was there.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
nothing, and I said after that, I don't think I got another A in anything. Right? Absent, if that's an A. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Remember my father, right? A school teacher couldn't do that.
That's it. So when I really developed my focus and said, you know what, I'm doing this. I remember my days on my train ride down to Georgia. I read the books on the bus. Right? I got into class and I was make sure I had a position where I could see and hear everything.
Yeah.
And I even so I had a Professor Robin when I met Professor Robin, and she's like, you know all of this. Why do you behave like you don't? Because there's that moment where, do I show what I know?
What character are you?
You know, which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's three characters. There's the hero, there's the antagonist, like the villain, and there's the village idiot. And a lot of us play these roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I was one of them.
I played the idiot a lot.
I played. I can't even tell you.
No,
how
I'm the
often
hero, but yeah.
I play. You're the hero. I'm the shero. So
Yeah,
we
like
fall
that.
into those. But for that was me.
Yeah.
I was that person. Anything you don't want to say, let me know that you want to say it, and I'm gonna be that person to say
Beautiful.
it. Right? So I was doing this, and at times it pissed people off. They were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." Another time it was like, we've been wanting to say that, and we're so happy that you said it. And I remember when I started to really get involved and do my work, and I was now all caught up in it has to be, and it better look, and I gotta get it right. And I remember she did. Some of the things this lady sat with me when we were doing resumes, and I was so frustrated and fed up with this whole resume process.
I know.
I'm fed up now. I have all this experience. You're putting all these things on paper, yet I can't get anything.
Okay.
And she sat. I will never forget. School was finished in the 4 o'clock hours. Me and Robin was still at George Brown College till almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she, this is what, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, a lot of it's networking too.
Yeah.
Who knows you refers you. We said that at
Yeah.
KeepMovingForward.ca. Who knows you refers you, and your why will determine your try.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Your why will determine your try. So please, anybody out there that is on this journey of wanting to, how can I say it now, embrace a change.
Yeah, you gotta
Because that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
You had to do that. What was the toughest? Now, I know sitting here, we're limited for time. So you're giving us, if you're old enough to know what the Coles Note version is.
Oh gosh,
If
go
you
way
don't,
back.
that was before Google. That was before, when we actually had to go to library
I used
on a
it for
card,
Shakespeare.
microfiche. Y'all know the journey. That was
Yeah.
before that time. So then when we got assignments, especially book reports, we had the Coles Notes version.
For Shakespeare. I was terrible at
Who
Shakespeare.
could do Shakespeare?
Yeah.
So we would go and get that. So I'm saying that to you now. So give us the Coles Note version to you
Okay.
to get you to this.
Okay, so for me, it was, actually, I'm going to quote Shakespeare, "To thy own self be true." I didn't know who I was, and I was lost. But when I found out my true calling, and I started writing the book, because I am the kind of person that likes helping people. I'm the kind of person that's about growing, overcoming, and achieving, and I walk the talk. So I wrote the book, and then I was still working, and then I went into recruitment, because for not-for-profit, funding gets cut, unemployed, and my breaking moment was...
I live it.
You understand, right?
I live it. I know it.
And it's nothing personal. It's that we've closed down one operation, and because you don't have seniority, you're being downsized.
Out.
So within about 1 year, I lost about 20 grand in my paycheck in a cut. And living in Brampton, I had to drive to Scarborough to work. So 1 minute, I'm managing 3 offices, and next minute, I'm the front desk person saying, "Sign this clipboard. Hello, have a good day, good morning." Totally devastated. And I remember
That had to have been seriously brutal on the self-esteem.
brutal. And I'm driving, and I'm like pretty much crying to work because I'm thinking I failed my wife, my family. And to make matters worse, my manager was assaulted by one of the people there. It was a high needs area, and the person had some mental challenges. And they assaulted my manager, so they had the place like a prison. So you had to go, buzz the person in.
My.
And I'm thinking, I'm in hell.
Oh, my.
And then every person is just rude to me because I'm saying, hi, how are you doing? And they're like giving the finger kind of a thing. And I'm thinking, it's just a resource center, police on the clipboard. And then this guy walks in one day, and I'm like about to cry. I'm holding back the tears because I'm feeling just so, my life have fallen, right? God, where are you, right? And the guy comes in, and something's wrong with him because he's smiling, he's happy, he's jovial, and he's walking towards me. It's a short South Asian man, and he's missing one arm. And he's happy as a lark. He won $1 million. And he's cracking jokes to me. I'm thinking, how dare myself be the kind of person of like, woe was me. And that's why we're like the brace on my arms remind me that I got 2 arms. I get myself a situation. And because of him and his, like who he was, I started growing, overcoming, achieving, got out of there, found a better job, and then eventually got into recruitment. And then we moved the offices, I couldn't believe this, to like Ajax. And then I said, this is it. I have to now become the career blacksmith, molding, sculpting minds to be successful.
So you were going from Brampton to Ajax. That was going to be the journey to work?
Yeah, so my tank of gas was half going there and half going back, pretty much. And I was bringing it. So for me, as a career blacksmith, molding, sculpting minds to be successful, that's what I do for people. And I've recently got people employed. And this one lady, she had a belief system that she had any value. She had lack in herself. She's like a fraud. And I worked with her, and then we did this mind work, and I got her to find her true calling. And her true I am statement was, I am valued, and I'm in my niche, and I have valued. And when she had that mindset of I'm in my niche and I have value, she found employment like that. And now she's working there, and she's in a job paying more than she was before, got her husband employed and stuff, other people. Because it's the mind work. It's not necessarily the resume and all that. It's the mind, right? If you don't believe, you'll never achieve, right?
Yes.
And that's what I teach.
If you can see it, believe it, you can achieve it.
But you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not going to invest in yourself...
And I think... I got into a little tiff with a bunch of people about that.
Oh, no.
Because... we had taken a group of young people out to the Underground Railroad tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and we've done that. I've been pushing the buttons, taking the youths, my passion, young people, and just educating. And we took them out to the Underground Railroad tour. And I remember I was so devastated where it started to rain, and in you got to walk from one cabin to go over to the other cabin, and it was a little muddy. And we're taking some youths from, I'm just going to say one of our priority neighborhoods. And he was so angry that his $300 shoes got a little mud.
$300 shoes.
Yeah, $300 shoes. I don't think I've ever bought a shoes that was over $100.
Yeah.
And I freaked.
Yeah.
I freaked out. And, I said to him, our ancestors came here in the winter, barefoot. You're coming to see the journey of our ancestors. And you're concerned about a little mud that you could take a piece of cloth and wipe off that mud. No problem. And you're done.
Yeah.
Our ancestors, many of them died on their way here.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything because they ran away. They came north for freedom. Some of them never saw freedom. Never got to experience real freedom. Yeah. And here you are with a $300 shoe that mud got on.
It's like almost like spitting on your legacy, pretty much, when you do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So your passion is teaching and educating people mindset.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Because once you change the mind, the mind is just like, if you can just change a little bit slightly, 3 pounds, you can change a person from a victim to a victor. Same person, but it's how you perceive your situation. And when you do that, the sky's the limit.
What is the most difficult part of that when you're going in and working at people's mindset? Because
Okay.
I got to that point where I will no longer fight them to learn. I just kind of take a step back. I'll give you the information.
Yeah.
Then I take a step back.
I save what I can save. So when I was in non-for-profit, there were some people that I had to help, and some of them were toxic. Negative attitude, negative energy and stuff, and they made you feel horrible. And I had to actually walk around Walmart before I got home because to shake off negativity. I'm serious, like for half an hour. Not because I'm a shopaholic, but because I couldn't go home and bring that negativity
You can't
to my,
bring it
to
in,
my
babe.
kids,
Can't.
right? And then so I was burnt out, tired, frustrated, and angry. And I started getting angry like them. So then I found out, you know what, save you can save. So my clients are people who believe in self-development. They're open to try, and those are my kind of clients. You know, if you're open to self-developing and growing yourself, overcoming, I can help you. If you have no interest, sorry, I cannot help you. I can give the information, but I can't help you because can't burn myself out.
I agree. Do you deal with a particular age group or?
All ages. So I've dealt with low as 8 up to, I think, 67. I once got a blind man. I think he was literate and he had a seeing problem. And I got him employed, and he was about, I think, 67 or something years old in a scrapyard. And then another person that was like probably 20-something years old, he was like probably 27. He was just digging his heels, resisting. I think this old man who can't even read, he's going through my stuff and succeeding. And you, born here, what's going on, kind of a thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I struggle big time with that. This thing, or this concept that we have to fight people to learn.
No.
Like we have to fight you
That's
to
not my
get
client.
to just. I work in an environment right now where I think it exemplifies toxicness.
Yeah.
Toxic. People in there are so toxic.
And they're burning out too, right?
It is scary, toxic. It's a not-for-profit. It's a low-barrier shelter.
Okay.
So any and everything that you could think of.
Yeah.
And then when you try to, I come with good energy.
Yeah.
By the time they're done, I found myself, I'd ease off swear. Like I would swear if it's a swear moment. Like you're running a joke and you're telling a joke, right?
Yeah.
Is it? I find myself cussing. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Guard yourself.
I started asking, like I asked for protection. I'm like, Father God, please shut my mouth where you need to shut it. Open my mouth where you need to open it. Protect my spirit when I walk inside. When it's not the toxic people that I work with, because you have some people that they get into those places and they're like,
They should be on the other side of the desk.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I have
So you
those
got
people,
that.
yeah.
I have that. Then I have a bunch of people that, some of them are really good, but life happened.
Yeah.
And they're not, I think, trusting to have that real conversation to say that I've been through some stuff and it's okay.
Yeah.
And I will be okay. But I need to trust this process to say that I can get over this.
Yes, and what I do, because I've been in the situation you're in, I've been in situations where it's like so horrible, we had to call the police. And our manager left stress leave. She was her first time being a manager, and she left after like 2 weeks or so. We didn't know. And she was gone for like 3 months, and we had no backup. It was all hell breaking loose. And what got me through was this thing saying, at least I'm not married to that person. So I used to visualize when the person was like yelling at me, whatever reasons they had, issues are going through, I would think, imagine being married to that person. My gosh, it'd be terrible, right? So I just gave thanks that I was married to a great woman, still am, and that's what worked for me. So
Yes.
when I see those people, I say, thank God I'm not married to them.
Well, my happy place is Mr. Berry's Hammond. That's my happy place. So I play Berry's on YouTube. Like I get in there at 7 o'clock, and I am killing the tunes. I am tuning. You name the tune, I am killing it. And my genre of music, I can take them way back. I'm serious.
It's
I
terrible.
am being 100% serious. I'm not trying to, I'm not fabricating a story. I'm just
Sad.
telling you this is real. So I have to make sure that I'm balancing it so
yeah.
that folks won't take pieces. Because I noticed that they take away the
People
pieces
take what they want to take.
that keeps them in an angry place.
Because that's like a limiting belief you have as a story, right? So the story you have in your head of who you are, it's like a pit that's probably 18 feet deep. It's warm. It's got a nice couch. And you don't have to get out. It keeps you safe, so to speak. The world's passing you by. And a lot of us are caught in that pit of where the couch is, and we have no way of getting out, right? And that's where, well, at least we're safe, but you're not really safe. You're not growing at all. You're just dying. It's like when a fruit is ripe, next stage is decay, and that's what a lot of people are. So yeah, it's what it is. But
How do we? So I'm when I say ghetto, getting higher education to teach others. One of my passion is to get people out of those type of spaces and start. I take them out of their zone. Out
I
of
do
their comfort
workshops
zone.
and stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
yeah. You do the workshop. I don't even go workshop. I like physically take them.
Yeah.
I'm like, come. We're going to this networking meeting. Come, I'm going to show you something a little different. All I ask, how you feeling? You trust me?
Yeah.
You trust me?
You gotta have the trust.
You trust me.
No trust
if
is
you
not gonna
trust
work.
me, listen, I'm going to bring you out, see some things. I'm not asking you to do anything other than just trust the process.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm there. And just realize that I'm there. And I'm comfortable with my story. So I tell my story all the time. Yeah, I tell my story all the time. Right? So people can, feel the story and understand the journey of the story. Yes, just like yourself.
Be the narrator to your own story. That's what I say.
Right?
Beautiful.
So we want to say, we thank you for listening. Special hello to everybody out there that's watching. And you know me, I'm very grateful for you for just taking that time out to watch. We want to big up Mr. Genius and the Raptor Foot, Mr. Raptor Foot, who's taking down, all of the world. Look for Ghetto Stories the 29th of June at the Caribbean Festival out there in the beautiful town of Ajax. Bigging up Black Wellness. As you know, the one and only Miss Giselle, Empress Walk, all of the community that's out there that's watching, support. That's what we need. So reach out if you have questions. You want to know where to find me. You know where to find me, Elaine Robinson. You can find me at The Real Ghetto Stories. You have a powerful story that you want to share. Please reach out, elaine.ghettostories@gmail.com. Just send me a line and send me a bio, and we can have that conversation. Colin, amazing. A funny thing happened on the way to your career. Where do people find you?
Well, you can go to my website of KeepMovingForward.ca, or you can contact me through my email, which is Colin@KeepMovingForward.ca. When I'm Colin, as I always say, keep moving forward and looking upwards.
You hear that? Keep moving forward and
looking upwards.
Do not look down. There's nothing down for you. Look up. There's lots of things. So when you look up, you see the bright sunshine. When you look up, you see stars as to which you are one. You understand that? You got to put yourself in that mind frame.
Elevate yourself.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I remember Marcus Garvey said, in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you're coming from. It's a journey. And let the earth and the sky be your yardstick and eternity your measurements. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm working on that one. All right? Colin, any last words for the community?
Last words are grow, overcome, achieve, and go to KeepMovingForward.ca.
Yes, and yes, we know about the Raptors, and we are grateful for the Raptors. And if anybody ever have a doubt in their mind that think they can accomplish anything, 24 years ago when we got a NBA team, nobody in the world ever thought, nobody, and I know because I listened to all the critics, nobody ever thought that we, the North, would be NBA world champions. So 24 years, however long it takes to get that piece that you need to get, trust the process. Baby steps. Baby steps. Walk. All time people says you got to creep before you can walk. So do a lot of creeping and then make sure when you stand strong.
Be your own champion.
All right. Well,
That's good.
yes, they're still watching. That's
good.
it, folks. We've had you. It's been an hour.